It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. And tonight we are talking about this 8-game Saturday slate, and we're happy that you joined us to chop it all up. My name is Jay Heinrich, and if you don't know, now you know. I am the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train at Dr. William Cannon on X. But I think you should do yourself a favor and follow this man first. Around here, he's known as El Capitan himself, the comma chaser, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34, the OG Money Mike. Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, what it do?
What it do, man? I'm glad college football kind of winded down, so now we get these nice Saturday slates. Got 5K up on the board, so would definitely love to add another GPP win. We've done a couple of slates, live before lock. We did a slate the other day, but yeah, really excited to dive into this one because it's power conference time. I know we do have one A10 team that we're going to talk about, man, but yeah, I'm excited. The One and Done Invitational has been hotter than ever. So we just posted number 8, the old $5 entry. Pumped it up to 40 spots this time. Try to get 40 of us in there. Top 5 prizes in there. So if you want to join the Breadheads, have a little bit of fun, please jump into that as soon as possible.
We had to bump it up. Those are rookie numbers. We had to bump it up. Anyways, it's lit because I'm already in it. So getting the One and Done Invitational, we'll have the link will be in the live chat if it isn't already, and we'll get it in the description probably as well. You can also find it on on Twitter at One and Done CBB is where you can find us over there. The link will be on the X page as well. But Mike, let's get right to it here. We got an 8-game slate on a Saturday morning, an interesting one for sure, with 5K to first being the premier tournament there on DraftKings. What are your quick thoughts before we dive right in?
Yeah, so thoughts on this one, man. You got 8 guys, 9K plus. So we got a lot of studs on the board. There's big totals in every single game that we're going to talk about, except really one. And even that total's at 145 on KenPom. And there's actually some good plays on one side. Unfortunately, there's a lot of teams on the slate that like to use their bench. So we'll talk about that. There's not a lot of major injury news. We have some of it already. So that's, sometimes things can pop up, but that's pretty nice to have, at least the night before. And I think it's just an awesome tourney slate. As we talk about it, you'll see why. So pretty pumped about this one.
No doubt about it. And we're happy that you joined us here on One and Done to chop it all up and break it all down so we can get this bread. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Hop in the live chat like Darren has, like Snake's Eyes, Forklift Jeremy. Everybody's hopping in. And now the DraftKings link is in the live chat as well. And Snake's Eyes, no, you are not last in the best ball league for sure. We'll get some graphics up on that soon. But you are not last in the best ball league. Shout out to you, Snake's Eyes, for sure. The first ever, the inaugural One and Done best ball league over there on FanTrack. Shout out to everybody that joined us on that. All right, let's get to it, Mike. 8-gamer here. We're going to start with Iona at St. John's, a 160-point implied total here. St. John's getting 91 of those. So when we look at this sort of a game, the large spread might play a little bit into how we attack this one. Let's start with Iona, one of those teams, Mike, that you mentioned earlier that likes to use their bench, 137th in bench minutes used. They play 10 or 11 guys. We know 3 of them are probably going to get 28 to 32. We know who those guys are. But again, big spread here, a tough matchup for them. I think you can look at CJ Anthony. He's their highest usage guy, former Power 5 player coming off the bench at Cincinnati before, if you recognize that name. So I think Anthony is a guy that is at least going to get the usage for them. But again, this is a tough matchup, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to take a lot of shots. I don't know. This fight's pretty tough, man. Like, you've got so many good spots on the slate. Savali sitting down here at 6K. He's certainly interesting. He's a kind of a Swiss Army knife that they play at the 5, really a 4-man. Great rates across the board, probably per dollar wise. Like, I know Anthony has the usage rate and have the ball in his hands a ton, but as far as like per dollar, he might make the most sense. I don't know, man. I don't know that I'm going to get to any of these guys because we're going to talk about so many better players. We got Keyshawn Williams. He's a CSU transfer, was a really good player at Northern Illinois a few years ago. He has a decent shot rate, just super shot dependent. Just a secondary value play. I mean, St. John's 14th in defensive efficiency. There are going to be a ton of possessions in this game. Usually when there's a ton of possessions and you got with both teams really good defensively, I kind of like the bigs because that means there's probably going to be a lot of rebounds and some double-doubles that are out there. But obviously we know that I know it's going to have a hard time scoring the basketball. So, yeah, I'm probably crossing most off. I know a lot of people maybe look at Toby Akamidu. He's 3,500. Man, like really nice rates. He's second in usage. He started the last couple of games. He's usually a starter, but only 9 and 14 minutes. It's because Iona is pretty small, Jay. They basically start the one big and Sabally, but they've been bringing bigs off the bench the last 2 games to kind of match the size with Bryant. Bryant's 5th in the country in height, so they couldn't play small. And Sacred Heart basically plays through their 2 bigs. So, yeah, I mean, he was kind of the guy that gets taken off because they're going to be playing 4-6-5. You're starting 4-6-5 guys and a 6'8" dude. And you have Zuby Ejiofor, Dylan Mitchell, and Bryce Hopkins on the other side of the front line. Like, it's just going to be tough to trust. So, yeah, I'm not in love with anything on this side. I think I'm more into maybe a one-off situation with St. John's, which is actually kind of dangerous too.
Well, let's get right to that side then. 91 implied points on this total. A 7 to 8 man rotation, a little bit tighter on this side. And Zuby Ejiofor averaging 15, 7, and 3. Like St. John should crush these guys, but my concern is obviously the minutes. Like we know that Ejiofor's ceiling can pay this price off, but Mike, do you think the minutes are going to be there for him?
Yeah, like St. John's, when they get into these type of blowouts, right, they'll play 10, 11 guys. So that's where it gets a little dicey. So it's for at 9,400 when we have a bunch of studs and really good spots in tighter games. Tough to do it, but contrarian large field option, right? Dylan Mitchell, this is a guy that in these type of game environments, like he goes kind of crazy in these. He's sitting here at 7,200. He's $200 more than Bryce Hopkins. I don't think anybody's going to play him. You got 1,200 teams if you're trying to win 5K. I do like maybe plucking one St. John's guy, figuring out who's the guy that'll go 5X in a 91 total before, it gets completely out of hand, man. So I just think Dylan Mitchell, just with his up-tempo style play, getting transition dunks, steals, kind of what we saw from when he played against Quinnipiac earlier in the year when he absolutely just went crazy on them. I think he had like 40 fantasy points. This is kind of a similar spot. Not in love with Bryce Hopkins. He's just kind of safe. Isaiah Sellers sitting here at 4,900, Ian Jackson, 4,400, Dylan Darling, 4,200. Like, there's just going to be a lot of guards that play. I mean, you have Josan Sanin, he's going to get to play. It's just tough to select one of these guys. I think Sellers, if you had to pick one, right? I mean, 34 minutes in the last 3 games, right? He's kind of edged out his role in this one. But there's just too many blowout concerns, man. So it's just like, can you find the one St. John's guy that's really going to get you there in a tournament? It's possible. It's possible. So that's probably the only way I'm attacking this entire game.
Forklift Jeremy likes Ian Jackson in the chat.
Yeah, he's
again like
guards.
Right. So like if you hit on this one, right, in this total, like you're going to be in a good spot. It's just a matter of, are you spending up for Ejiofor and like just hoping that he stays on the floor long enough to even remotely pay this off? Right. On this type of a slate, or do you want to spend up for something else later on? Yeah. Even Mitchell, like I think you have to sprinkle him in just because he could go for 40 here, and not blink twice. So it's got to be in consideration.
Playing, so.
Yeah, for sure. All right, good stuff there on that first game. Iona at St. John's, a 160-point implied total. Buyer beware in that one. But that's just the first game on this 8-game slate. You know what I forgot to mention? We've got a QR code, I believe, for the old DraftKings thing right there. Wait, no, I did the finger wrong. Dang it. Right there. There it is. The skyhook right there. So if you want to, you'll be able to scan that QR code and hop right into the DraftKings contest, the one and done invitational, or as we call it around here, the MC Holland 34 Invitational, because it's Mike's, Mike's name's on it. So I like to poke him a little bit that it's on there. Although I have won the MC Holland 34 Invitational once already this season. So, we'll see if I could get a second win. And I hope you come in there and you challenge all of us. It's a fun group. Everybody gets in there and we start to recognize the names and all the breadheads in there. So hop in there for sure. All right. Arkansas and Texas Tech is the second game we're going to discuss here on this slate. A little bit smaller implied total, according to Ken Palm's metrics, 151 implied points on this one, but much closer, as in 1 point difference, according to Ken Palm's metrics here. 76-75 projected score here. Texas Tech favored, but we're going to start with Arkansas, Mike. 198th in bench minutes used. You got him an 8-man rotation. We know who's going to be on the floor. Acuff, 8,700. If you look at the game log, if you game log chase like we all tend to do sometimes, it's going to pop off the page for you here. He's on fire over the last three, 39, 38, and 35. He's playing 34 or more minutes and all of that stuff. And I think this is one of those situations where it's down a little bit. From Ejiofor, you save 700 off of Ejiofor's price when you're looking. I know different positions, but when you're looking at spend ups, I like Acuff. I think you can plug him in most formats and just roll with him, man.
Yeah, he's been great. Keep the good times rolling. I think this 8K range is awesome. We're going to talk about a lot of good 8K plays. I know Trevon Brazile is 8K. He's not one of those guys that I'm really factoring in because I think the price has finally caught up to where the upside is really kind of sapped out. Now, he has shown he can go into the 40s, right? But I just don't love the matchup on the other end. He is dealing with two pretty good forwards on the other side. So, I think if I'm spinning up, Acuff at 8,700, he's significantly cheaper than the two guys on the old other side here that we're going to talk about in a second. You have Malik Thomas. Just cooled off. Like, they were giving him tons of minutes, just a huge shot rate. Just hard to trust. He's not getting any minutes recently. Carter Knox down here at 5,200, just not that interested. Billy Richmond and DJ Wagner, the price tags kind of stick out. Richmond, off the bench, playing 1,200 teams, trying to win 5K. There's serious downside with him. Obviously, he needs kind of everything to go right, but we've seen, against Duke, he had 24 fantasy points. So, he's an option, more of a secondary value type play. Wagner, more of a floor value. Floor is in he can get 8 fantasy points, and every now and then he'll kind of go crazy. So this is kind of set up for a 5K deal. I'm probably not going to do it, but he has to be in your tertiary value player pool if you're thinking about getting crazy, because essentially all the usage is going to go to Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff and Trevon Brazile. So if you want to get cute and you want to get different, that's the way to do it. Good luck to you if you do. And then same thing with Nick Pringle. Good luck to you with that, because this front court's kind of a mess. It's Brazile, Pringle, Ewan. Obviously, Pringle and Ewan. Pringle much cheaper. Ewan's in the 5K range. But, yeah, Jay, I think I'm with you, man. It's Darius Acuff at 8,700. A really solid spend up. A really high floor. That's kind of where I want to attack Arkansas if I'm going anywhere. If you want to get cute with Wagner, go ahead. But it's probably going to be an early day for you if you do.
And if you go that way, it's one of those where if you go that way and you beat me, I'll just shake your hand and move on, right? I'm not comfortable clicking that button a ton, if at all. But again, one of these guys is going to hit, and we just go and we go. So before we go on to Texas Tech, I wanted to pop up in the live chat for a second and say, what's up, Zach? Zach Green hopping in there. Good to see you, man. Hopping in the live chat. Thanks for checking us out for sure. Hop in there with Zach and Forklift Jeremy and Darren. Yes, we are fancy with our QR code. We're also fancy with our Mountain West streams that we have here on the channel, the DFS shows like we're doing right now, the news and notes. What else do we got going on?
Live reactions, yeah.
Oh, yeah, live reactions that we're coming once or twice a week with those. So make sure you hop on and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's get to Texas Tech side of this one. 332nd in bench minutes. We like that one for sure. 7-man rotation with those 3 guys hitting well over 30 on a regular basis. Mike, how are you feeling about the Red Raider side?
Yeah, you love that, right? 332nd, but man, you're paying the price for Christian Anderson and JT Toppin, and for me, Christian Anderson is way too expensive. I just talked about Acuff at 8,700. Christian, I won't pay. I know he's gone crazy a few times this year. Like you say, Jay, if he beats you, he beats me. Whatever. I'm not paying 10-3. I have guys in the 8K range and the 9K range that I'm way more attracted to as far as spending up, because the value options are kind of weird on this slate. JT Toppin's sitting at 10-2. I mean, feels like he's close to a cash lock. I was weird the other day. Like we were kind of talking on a text thread. He was kind of passive and lackadaisical against LSU. I know they were up huge, so it's not like he really had to do anything. But he wasn't being very aggressive. Now he still ended up with a bunch of fantasy points, almost 40. So, like, what does that say if he's going to be aggressive, right? He's definitely got a high floor and high upside. So, yeah, JT Toppin, an awesome spend on this slate. Excuse me, Lawan Watts at 6,800. Decent high price. I mean, that's not fun. But, man, this is a guy that is kind of the Darren Williams. Like, he's priced where Darren Williams was last year, 7K, right around that area, 6,800. And he just contributes just like him, like assists. Can get some socks. He's a good rebounder. He can score 30 plus in the last couple. 6,800 though. It's right there. It's kind of right there on the edge, Jay. So like, yeah, I mean, I feel like JT Toppin's probably the spend up and really the main priority here. Is anybody else that you're maybe looking at or want to talk about?
I don't like paying full price for anybody at all. I don't want to pay 6,800 for Watts. I also don't want to pay 5,400 for Donovan Atwell. You know, he's going to be on the floor, but I need a little bit more than that. Not enough usage there. I think there's better options in that 5K range. And then Jalen Petty, been coming on strong lately. A bit of a price dip, which is something that I'm very interested in. Not the safest play by any stretch, but I think Jalen Petty is one of those guys that has to be in your value player pool. Hopping back in the live chat, Jason, good to see you in there. Good evening to you too. Hop in there with Jason and Darren and Forklift, Jeremy and Zach and the guys by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's keep it rolling, Mike. Moving right along to Michigan State and Penn State in this one. Here's the low total on the slate, I believe, 145 points in this one. But again, maybe going to be able to find some nice plays on this one. Not that either one of these teams is exactly going to be racing up and down the floor necessarily, but there should be some fantasy points to be had in this one. Let's start with the Spartans here, 180th in bench minutes. Really, we know who's playing the big minutes here to 3 or 4 of those starters. Penn State's getting crushed inside, and they're giving up a 60% assist rate, Mike. So all things that we've got to take into consideration here as we look at how we want to play the Spartan side.
Yeah, I mean, so I would say 3 really good plays on the Spartan side, maybe great plays on the Spartan side, and then 1 okay play. So it's really the 4 starters who are getting the minutes, right? Came on the other night. It was Penn State was on the slate. I talked about Indiana. I said play Connerway or play Wilkerson. Well, actually, should have played both because they had like 100 combined fantasy points against Penn State. They just, I mean, and now Michigan State's rolling in with almost an 80 implied total. It's going to be all on efficiency. Penn State's going to have trouble scoring. Jackson Kohler, an awesome spend at 8,200. This is just a great matchup. He just talked about the inside, right? Giving 57% to a post player of his caliber, and then he can shoot threes, and he's a double-double threat. So just, man, like he's definitely got an awesome floor here, and I think he's got a little bit of stealing. If Penn State can somehow just keep it manageable into the second half. Jeremy Fears also an excellent tournament play. Loves to attack the rim, create assists for others. He's got double-double upside with assists in this one, I think. I think he's live for like 10, 11, 12 assists in this one. Just talked about how Penn State gave up 1 million fantasy points. It felt like DeVries and Wilkerson and Connerway, they all had like 5 assists within the first 15 minutes of the game. It was crazy. So yeah, kind of like Fears here at $100 cheaper than Kohler, but both great in that 8K range, great spend ups in a great environment. Carson Cooper's a nice pivot off of Kohler, $1,600 cheaper. He has double-double upside with some shot blocking ability. So he's definitely an interesting play. He just went for 41 fantasy points against Duke. So, definitely a tournament option there as well. And then Cohen Carr, I mean, he's 5,700. Like, we just talked about the 3 here, the 2 bigs that take up all the rebounds and block shots, and then Fears going to get all the assists, have the ball in his hands. And Carr's kind of like that guy that needs to get into transition, needs to make like all of his, attempts essentially. He's not going to dominate the ball or anything, Jay. 57. I wish he was like $500 cheaper. You'd feel a lot more comfortable on this plate. But yeah, he is definitely a guy that in this spot could get to 28 to 30. Like, he's not out of the realm of possibilities. Penn State can't guard anything. All these guys are just live to absolutely smash here.
You going to get to 2 of these guys in some lineups?
Man, if I did, it would probably be I don't know if I want to play Kohler and Fierce together, which is actually probably maybe a smart thing to do in a large field tournament because no one's going to do it, I don't think. I'm more on the fact of like playing a Fears with the Cooper or playing a Fears with the Carr. I like Fears for the large field tournaments. Kohler's awesome too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm going to have so many lineups tomorrow, but mixing and matching, yeah, two is definitely in the realm of possibilities, and I will have that. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, 2 is in the realm of possibility on that side, but I believe 0 is in the realm of possibility on the other side. Penn State's going to have some issues scoring. Not a lot of guys even get close to 30 minutes anyway. They're playing a bunch of people. Caden Mingo, just not a good matchup. Contrarian type of spend, I guess, at 7,800 if you're looking to get different. Freddie DeLeon, 6,200. All these guys you talked about, you wished that a car was $500 cheaper. Literally everybody on the Penn State side, I wish was like $1K cheaper almost, like to even be interested in them.
Yeah.
That's all the time we're going to spend on Penn State. Just right here.
Cross him off.
Excellent. Don't even worry about it. Cross them off then. But hit a couple of those Michigan State players for sure. And hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. We're well over 1,700 now, on our way to 1,800. Which is then on our way to 11 gazillion, fulfillion, and 1. YouTube will make our special plaque for that. But just do your part now and push the button if you haven't already. Darren's talking about some Sparty stacks in the chat, and I like it. I'm thinking I'll be doing that quite a bit tomorrow for sure. We see a couple of you guys have hit those buttons already tonight, up to 1,710. Definitely appreciate that. Do your part in the one and done universe and do the same. All right, let's get to another game in the 160s here, a 167-point implied total, and that's Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. Another 1-point type of a spread, according to KenPom's metrics here. We like that one a lot too, for sure, and we like the fact that Oklahoma State is 7th in the country in tempo right now. Like literally, they're going to be getting up and down in this rivalry game. I want to start with the Oklahoma State side, Mike. 11th in bench minutes used. Rotations are starting to condense a little bit, but they're still playing 9 guys. So with that being said, Mike, Victorious Miller at 5,600 is a game time decision, something that we're going to have to follow. And then one more note is Oklahoma is a little bit susceptible from deep. They're giving it up at a 37% clip right now. So with all that being said, Mike, how do you want to attack this Cowboys side?
Oh, man. Like, you see the 84-83, right? And you're like, I got to get into something. But then you realize it's Oklahoma State, and it's like, oh, gosh. Like, literally grab that big wheel, and you just spin it because it's a couple of guys are probably going to get there. If they get to 84 points, I mean, nobody's over 6,600. You got Parsifala. I mean, he's gone crazy the last 3 games. 30 fantasy points, 37, 38. Dangerous because he's not missing any shots. Dangerous as in if you fade him, but also dangerous as in like if you play him because he's not like, I don't know that I trust him. And they just have all kinds of options that they could go to if he's not making any shots. So, yeah, I mean, he's done it against, Northwestern and Grand Canyon. Like, it was a solid team. So, like, could he keep it going? Yeah. I mean, I'm probably not clicking the button. I'm looking at all these guards today. Jalen Curry, Anthony Roy, Kanye Clary, Isaiah Coleman. All these guys essentially get affected by the Miller news. So we have to pay attention to that. Curry's going to probably get 30 minutes if Miller doesn't play. 28 to 30. More of a floor play. So I'm not really that interested because I'm probably only playing tournaments. You got Roy, who's shot dependent, can literally score 30 points in a game, but like he has to really catch fire. So I think he's in line in tourneys if you think he can absolutely go crazy from the field. Clary, probably too risky, even though he's a lot cheaper than Curry and Roy at 5,100. So just kind of too risky for the limited upside that you're getting. If he was 4,100, yeah, definitely interested. Isaiah Coleman at 4,900. He could also get hot from the field like Anthony Roy. But, man, it's just kind of like one of those things where you just don't know. If I had to, like, pick one, if I knew that Miller was out, Jay, I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably look at, like, an Anthony Roy from a tournament perspective or Isaiah Coleman. Or you could just not do any of that and go to Christian Coleman at 4,500. at the forward position, getting high 20s minutes, and he has scoring and rebounding upside. A much safer value play for Christian Coleman, who when you look at Isaiah Coleman, he's sitting here at 4,500. So you spend or Christian Coleman being at 4,900, Isaiah Coleman being at 4,500. So Christian Coleman obviously a bit safer. You get paying the $400 to be a lot safer, and he could get 25 to 27 fantasy points for sure, especially in this spot. This front court for Oklahoma, Jay, it's not that scary. So yeah, I mean, Christian Coleman's definitely somebody that I'm super interested in tournaments.
If Miller is active, are you sniffing around or no?
Probably leaving all the guards alone, and Christian Coleman would probably be my preferred value play from this side.
Okay. Sounds good. On the other side of Bedlam here, Oklahoma 83 implied points. Again, we're looking at a close game. We're looking at high totals. Looking at the Oklahoma bench minutes, 243rd, so obviously a lot better there. 10 guys are checking in, but the starters are playing the majority of the minutes. So looking at how we can attack with the Oklahoma players, Oklahoma State gives up a ton of three-point attempts, but they're defending it well. So, are we going to depend on these Sooners to hit some threes? I don't know. Oklahoma State is also sub 300 in the opponent assist rate. So a big total, but some things sort of lining up on paper against the Sooners. Nigel Pack at 7,500, slot him into your guard spot, 26% shot rate, 19% assist rate, shoots a ton of threes, and has 30 plus fantasy point upside in this spot easily. But again, he'll be able to get the shots off, right? It sounds like, but is he going to be able to hit them against this Oklahoma State defense? We shall see. Tay Davis at 7,300, the big man, 24% usage, probably just a boom or bust tourney play there. I like Pack. I think that if you're looking, I think a lot of people are going to like Nigel Pack.
Yeah.
On this slate, I think is going to be a pretty popular play at 7,500 with his ceiling there. Mike, anything else that we should look at on this Sooner side?
Yeah, I mean, we can, because Pack, right, 7,500. Well, look, Xavier Brown's $1,000 cheaper, and he's $600 cheaper from where he was. So at 6,500, it's the lowest tag he's had all year. Still feels a bit steep, which is why I like it for tournaments. I mean, he had 30 fantasy points against Wake and 33 at Nebraska earlier in the year. So, hey, let's say Pack is cold or gets into foul trouble, Xavier Brown right there. I mean, he could easily go for 30 to 35 in the spot. I mean, they're getting paced up too, Jay. That's what's nice. That I wish this was a few weeks ago when Darian Reed was playing bigger minutes. He's down at 5,400, but there's a reason why, right? He's just not only 20 minutes that you can feel comfortable about. So, yeah, I think as far as the two guards, I think they're both really good options. Tay Davis, you just never know if he's going to get the rebounds because he's got to get he's got to get like a double-double in order to pay off 7,300. And then Darian Reed at 5,400, kind of a boom-bust turning option for the large field. I think if you want to use one of those two forwards as a stacking partner, that's certainly something you could potentially look at. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of points scored in this one. I think Oklahoma's going to run. I think they'll run with Oklahoma State here.
Yeah, pace up for the Sooners. We'll see if they can get it done here. Nigel Pack, a really nice play on the Oklahoma side for sure. Keep those subscribe buttons being smashed. We love to see that. We see a lot of you hanging out in the lobby. We definitely appreciate you for checking us out. If you're watching us over on X, that's cool. But I think there's a little thing where you can pull the screen down a little bit. I'll say open an app. It'll get you over to YouTube on your phone, and you can push the subscribe button. You can go to Google and type in One and Done College Basketball. Guess who's going to pop up right underneath that? Ya boys. And then you can get to our X page. You can get to our YouTube page from there, and you can find all of the college basketball information that your heart desires right here on One and Done. We're going to have some matchups coming down the road on the Mountain West channel that we're going to simulcast here. Mike and I hop in and do some Manning cast type commentary in and out of timeouts and stuff like that. It's a blast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and to hang out with us all you can for sure. All right. So with that being said, let's move on now to the next game in this one. Marquette and Purdue, a smaller total and a larger spread. So of course, that probably doesn't mean anything the same. It's so hard, Mike. Like, we look at these things, it's like, yeah, okay, 168 point, type of a game. And who are we playing? Who are we just feel so confident about? Like, one guy, right? But we can look at a game like this with Marquette and Purdue with 152 points. And there might be a few plays that we are a little bit more interested in. Let's start on the Marquette side. 93rd in bench minutes used, only a couple of guys locked into 28 minutes, and a big-time pace-down spot as an underdog, a big underdog that plays a lot of dudes. That's ugly for what we're trying to accomplish here. Chase Ross, 9K flat, no need to worry. My accountant handles that. 26% usage, and the one guy, Mike, that we can depend on that will log huge minutes. But aside from that, it's going to be tough because Painter is going to focus on stopping him. So I like Chase Ross as a real-life basketball player a lot. I don't know if I want to pay $9K on my DraftKings lineup here to see if he can get off against Purdue, Mike. I'm not sure, just probably treating him as much more of a contrarian-type tourney play.
Yeah, I mean, you don't love the Marquette offense. I mean, they're a power 5 team that's sub 100 in offensive efficiency. They're not playing the Shaka Smart defense, 80th in defensive efficiency, but they are going to pace up Purdue. So we know we're going to like that side. On this Marquette side, it's like, do you want to get contrarian with Chase Ross? Probably not going to. I'm not going to Nigel James or Sean Jones. Like Ben Gold, I mean, he has to be out there. He's 6,100 because of the size of Purdue. Like, he has to be on the floor, and he's been on the floor for them. He's the only really other guy that will, in close games, they got to have him out there because he's like the only reliable big. So if you want to get cute, I guess, and 6,100 for Ben Gold, that's a weird way to spend your Saturday. I would say Royce Parham, outside of Ross, would be a guy I would look at. I mean, he's 4,300, tourney value option here, a nice rebounding rate. I mean, he's a big 25, probably going to get 25 minutes in this one, I would assume. So yeah, could he get you 20 to 25 fantasy points? I think he could in this spot, especially if they get blown out. He's really safe coming off the bench, man. But there's just so much more to like on this Purdue side, Jay.
Purdue getting paced up big time here, and Marquette giving up threes and assists at a high rate, which just happens to coincide with some of Purdue's strengths. Top 11 in both of those. So yeah, Braden Smith at 10.4. God, man, like that's how I feel, man. Like, just the silence. He hasn't paid off these 5-figure price tags, man. Like,
yeah,
nice floor spend up. I love Braden Smith. Great player. Turning upside, I guess, if you want to chase that 55.5 fantasy point game when he absolutely fried Minnesota the last time out.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's tough to want.
We talked about that 8-9K range, right? Like,
yeah. Well, even like TKR, man.
Yeah, $1,200 cheaper. And like, the one thing I will say about Marquette is the guards will get after you, right? Like Chase Ross, like those guys will get after you defensively. They got no chance of stopping anybody inside. So TKR, season low price tag, great tournament play here today. I think you can easily go for 40 in this spot. There's a question of whether this game's going to be competitive. Honestly, man, Purdue #1 in offensive efficiency. So this thing could get out of hand pretty quickly. I like TKR. Braden Smith has to be in the player pool. But yeah, you're right, man. Like, it feels like a chase. I just don't know that he's going to have to do too much. And I think Shaka, trying to cause a little havoc with Braden Smith and make some of these other guys beat him, meaning TKR is going to make a lot of plays and get a lot of assists in this one. I'm not playing Clough at 6,500. He's TKR without the shot rate and no minute ceiling. But Fletcher Lawyer, I got to mention it for our single entry guy. See Corey McDaniel out there. He's finally at a price tag where I think he's like, we can say something about him. I never play him. I will never play him. Just never play him.
That's almost you almost said something nice about Fletcher Lawyer.
Yeah,
you almost did it.
I can't. Corey, if you're out there watching, man, there it is. At 5K, I will finally not give you crap about playing a Lawyer.
Hey.
He could get hot on the field. He can score 20 in real life. That's the only reason why. He's averaging 14 on the year. He will literally not get a rebound. He will not get an assist. He will not get a steal. He will not get a block. So you need all scoring. But yeah, this is a great spot for Purdue.
Stanley's letting us know that we're all thinking it, my man. Some of these guys, it might get out of hand, and that is a point of concern, right? Like, especially if you're paying 10.4K for Braden Smith, who has trouble paying off 5-figure price tags.
But I don't know, Jacob. I mean, it got out of hand against Minnesota, and Braden Smith, like, those guys are still out there just absolutely. Braden Smith was absolutely just cooking them. That's because they got absolutely beat down the game before, so they wanted to come out, and it's a conference game. I feel more confident, Jay, when they're conference games. I feel like the coaches are obviously not a conference game with biggies, but it's a big matchup. I feel like when it's conference games and bigger matchups, they will leave the studs out there. A little bit longer instead of coming out the 5 or 6 minute mark, then maybe like the 2-minute mark they'll come out. We'll see. Wilkerson went for 47. Yeah, Connor, we had 35. He got taken out with like 6 minutes, so they scored like 80 fantasy points. Why not Braden Smith, right?
It's tough. I love it, but hey, Stan, don't worry about it, man. It's okay that you're last. We weren't even going to bring it up. I promise you, okay? It's all right, man. And you're still showing up and hanging out in the live chat, the liveliest live chat in all of college hoops.
That's better
my man, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Hit that subscribe button like everybody in the live chat already has. I'm sitting here refreshing over here. What do we got? We got another sub. Yeah, why don't we get to 1711? 1738. We're gonna get there soon, but 17, maybe 1712 by the end of the show. Why don't you hit that button real fast for us if you haven't already? As we move along now to Cincinnati and Georgia, a 153-point implied total on this one. Georgia, 81 of those according to KenPom's metrics, and Cincinnati with 72. We're going to start there. Both of these teams top 60 in tempo, and Georgia top 6. They actually number 6 in tempo here. So these teams are going to get up and down and have lots of possessions on the offensive end. But Cincinnati, 9th in defensive efficiency, Georgia 44th. These are two really good basketball teams here in what should be a really fun game to watch. The Bearcats play a 9-man rotation, only a few guys getting 30-ish, minutes. Baba Miller's been great this year, right? 9,700 on this particular slate, but tough matchup, and that 9.7K season high price tag. Could he get there? Sure. Am I down with paying for guys at their season high price tag? No. A lot of downside on this one. If you beat me with Baba Miller, good for you, but I'm probably out on him, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, you pay $500 more, you get JT Toppin in that Arkansas game, right? We haven't even talked about the guy in the next game who's one of the best spend upset forward. You could, you could take TKR for, $500 cheaper than Baba Miller. And then you got Jackson Kohler, for almost $1,500. So I just don't know why Baba Miller doesn't really make any sense. A lot of these Cincinnati guys, this is weird. This game kind of pisses me off because there's two really good defenses. They got shot blockers. They get up and down. You get a ton of rebounds. So these bigs are kind of interesting, but no, it's gonna be an ugly game, man. Day Thomas, I guess a floor spend up 8,400. Like he's gonna play 32 to 36 minutes. There's no tourney upside. I feel like even in the pace, man, I just don't see tourney upside for Day in this spot, especially when they're implied for 72 points at 8,400. Abev and Creaser are gonna take a ton of shots. So no for me on Thomas, man. Chom, I got to see him do it first. He's been really good against some of the mid-major opponents, but haven't really unleashed him. I thought he'd have a more clear role, but obviously Baba Miller's getting more attention in that front court from Miller. So, Kirk Risa at 5K, man. Tourney upside, 18, 28, 26 fantasy points in the last 3. But then again, this is a much, much tougher matchup against a really solid Georgia defense on the road too, which is another downgrade to the Cincinnati side here. Jay, I don't know, man. I'm kind of more interested in some of these darts on the Georgia side.
If you've been playing since before we started this show, it's almost time for you to pack up, Kirk Risa. Okay, I'm just saying. You've been at it for a minute, man. Okay, but yeah, 5K flat, tough matchup, man. Like I don't know. He's paid it off a couple of games in a row. How about that Georgia side, Mike? Like you were talking about, 11 guys have checked in every single game this year. It's hard to get over 30 minutes for anybody when that's the case, and very rarely does it happen with this Bulldog side. 9th in bench minutes used. Thumbs down on that one. I will say, though, that's got to be Kane. It's Blue Kane, as a matter of fact, at 7,700. Had a tremendous year. Mike loves the offense, the O rating, the offensive rating. A 144 rating for Blue Kane.
Yes.
Mike, that'll get you a little shivery there.
It's pretty good.
For sure. But I think the thing with him is, though, and you know this, Mike, really shot dependent is Kane. Nice team total here. But again, man, like, I don't want to pay 77. I want to pay 68. I want to pay 69 for Blue Kane. I don't know if I want to get to 7.7K.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel with a lot of these guys outside of the forward darts, man. Jeremiah Wilkinson, he's been really good, 30% shot rate. He's 7,100. I guess he's an okay cash play. I hate even saying that. He's been really good lately, but this is a much different matchup. Dady Thomas defense lurking out there. So I probably let someone else play these guys. Millender, Catchings, like these guys play 23, 25 minutes in the mid 5Ks. I'm just not interested. I'll talk about these forwards real quick before we move on to the next game, Jay. Cyril, Abston, and James, man. So Santo Cyril, if he ever played 30 minutes, he would be 9K. But he's just going to play 20 minutes, and he's got an elite shot blocking rate. He is a solid rebounder, 4X in 4 of the last 5. Again, this is a different matchup because you have Chom on the other side. Baba Miller, is a long, lanky 4. So, yeah, I mean, one of these guys probably going to have a nice game because there's going to be so many possessions. And if there's good defense being had, there's probably going to be a lot of rebounds and shot blocking. So which Georgia forward? Spin the wheel on it. Absent 4,400. Nah. I mean, yeah, could you go there? He was good, in spurts, right? And he's put up fantasy points. But I think Dylan James at 4K, man. One of these guys getting the 20 fantasy points, Jay, and that's over 4X for these price tags. Just kind of good luck with which guy gets hot or like gets the 8 rebounds and 3 shot blocks with a couple of putbacks, because that's the way that they're going to get there. So it's just a tough way.
Somebody's going to end up with like a 28 out of these guys. You know what I mean? Like somebody's going to end up with like a 26 or a 28.
Yeah, they
and if you get that guy, I think you have to try to roll with one of these forwards, Mike. I think you've got to try it.
I'm going to.
Mix them in, right? Yeah, we're right here. Yes,
rodeo.
We're feeling it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, get him in there. That's gotta be Kane. What do we say? We had the. I saw it in the chat. It was the. Oh yeah, Baba versus Blue. Very good. I like that a lot in that matchup. I don't know that I'm playing either one, but I do like the matchup in obviously IRL, as the kids say in real life ball, for sure. All right, man. Let's hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. I've said it like 17 times, and if you're still hanging around and you haven't pushed the button, I think we need to start asking some serious questions about this relationship and where it's going. So think about hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. I saw Hunter checking in. Shout out, Hunter. Salute to you, my friend, for hopping in the live chat and checking us out. We always appreciate when you hop in with us. So thank you for doing that for sure. Snake size, we're not doing that. Are we doing that? Snake size, the 6'7" thing. It's my day job. I'm always around that stuff. And Mike is too, but we're not going to get into that. All right. Let's move along here. We got a couple of more games left before we get to that core 4 and more that, we love to get to. Providence and Butler is up next on the docket. 168 implied points here. Providence 18th in tempo. Butler 78th. We're going to see quite a few possessions in this one. Both top 50 offensive efficiency teams. I'll start with the Friars here. 150th in bench minutes. 9 to 10 guys playing a lot. 2 or 3 are going to get to 30. And I think Edwards is one of those guys here at 7,400. Big time scorer. The minutes are starting to decrease a little bit, but I feel like attorney play at 7,400. You talked about those conference games where things feel elevated, whether it's the coaches that feel the need to play the players longer in specific type of big matchups, or if the stakes are just higher and those conference games, it just means more, as they say in certain conferences. But I mean, I think Edwards has got to be a boom bust type of you got to consider him at 7,400 here. And then Ryan Mila at 6,300, $1,100 cheaper, solid player. But I don't know if the minutes are there, if I'm comfortable enough hitting that one at 6,300, Mike. But Jalen Sellers, though, Mike, at 6,100, I think there's a little bit more to like on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the price tag, right, Jay? Like Jason Edwards, like he was playing 30 to 34 minutes, right? And now there's been some weird stuff going on with Kim English and like, some of these videos where he's talking to guys on the sidelines. And I don't know if this team was all there, obviously, but this is a big opportunity to go on the road. This is there is a fourth Big East team, or really who's going to get third in the Big East is kind of the main question here. Because we've got Creighton, but Creighton, I mean, Providence could beat Creighton. Like that, so this is huge. Could I see Jason Edwards getting 30 minutes in this one? Absolutely. What has happened, though, is when we think something with Providence, something else happens, like Jalen Sellers, who should be getting 30 minutes in this one because that's what he's been doing, and his rates are solid. And, I mean, he's so much cheaper than Edwards that you have to kind of go here because he has 30-plus fantasy point upside. He's going to take a bunch of threes. He's got a little bit of rebounding upside. But, man, 29 to 32 minutes just sounds about right. Usually English will play the hot hand. Weird enough, though, those two guys, Sellers and Edwards, supposed to be the heavy lifters for this offense this year. But it's really been Stephon Bax at $6K, man, the freshman. Been really good. Nobody's talking about this kid. 23% shot rate, 20% assist rate. The minutes have touched 28 plus in 8 straight games. He's shown a 30 plus fantasy point ceiling. He's in play in all formats. I really like him. Sellers and Vax for this game environment at their price tags that has 5. One of them has 5X written all over it. So I think you have to have one of them in every lineup that you have. And then Edwards makes for kind of a really cool tournament play. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fantasy points scored in this one, Jay. I mean, there's going to be a lot of possessions. Neither team is, both teams are sub 70 in defensive efficiency, and they're not terrible offensively. So, should be a good one. There are a lot of pieces in this game.
I wonder why you haven't heard about Vax a lot. It's not like there's a lot of other talented freshmen in the country right now.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Jeez, man. Like these guys that are playing at a level that 18 and 19-year-olds aren't normally playing at in college basketball are being overshadowed by players that are just so good in putting their teams on their backs. But shout out to Vax for sure. And he's somebody that I'm going to be interested in this one. Let's go to the other side of this one. Butler at 87 implied points. 62nd in bench minutes used. Okay, this is a theme. We've been leading most of these team introductions with their bench minutes because the variables on this slate. There's just teams that play a lot of guys, and it's something that you have to take into consideration. Obviously, 11 guys have checked in the last couple of games, but for Butler, the starters do play pretty solid minutes. Jalen Jackson out again, but this is a big total for these guys in this spot. Mike, Providence is 326th in opponent three-point percentage, giving up a ton of fantasy points this year, are the Friars. So for Butler, Ajayi, 9,900, absolutely lock him down in your cash game spend up slot. Just put him in. If you're playing cash, like I like to play the 50-50 sometimes, the whatever it is, the double ups, things like that. Like I love him, and he's locked into 32 or more minutes. Like I love it. 26% usage, 39% combined rebound rate, 18% assist rate, 5% stocks. Like I think you can probably even sneak him into some turning lineups as well. This is that good of a spot for him, Mike, in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have some. I don't do as many, smaller, single entries or the double ups and stuff like that. But I feel like how can you pass on that 87 team total for a guy playing that many minutes and those type of rates? It kind of seems silly. But I think for tournaments, hear me out. Finley Bizjack, 8,300, $1,600 cheaper at guard. Jackson being out probably locks him in, 31 to 35 minutes, even when he was in, right? So I think he's going to be sneaky. I think he could go for 35, 40 in this spot at 8,300. I'm going to take some shots in the large field tournament on Finley Bizjack right here. Like he's got to make his shots. I think he's going to get 3 or 4 assists at least here. If he can poke out a couple of steals that'll really help the upside, that's really what it's going to come down to. Can he get any stocks here, and can he make over 60% of his shots, which is asking a lot. But for a tournament with 1,600 players or whatever it is, 1,200 players or whatever, they're trying to win 5K. I don't mind him as one of those another 8,300 guys. So I'm not playing Kolar, right? And I'm playing if I'm playing Fears, I'm probably not playing BizJack. If I'm playing Kolar, I'm probably might slide BizJack in. Like, I'm just going to kind of manipulate my tournament lineups that way. But both of those guys, I think, are definitely interesting in this spot. They do all the heavy lifting for this team. I'm not interested in Drayton Jones. There's a kind of a weird deal going on with the Xavier Robinson at the point guard, and they're just kind of splitting time at that one. But Jamie Kaiser, I mean, 5,100. He's playing 30 minutes a game. He's just super shot dependent. He's a scoring wing. Yeah, he's gone for 25 fantasy points 5 times this year. But really, everything has to go right. He has to make his shots. He's got to shoot a high percentage. I said 60. He might need to shoot 80% from the field to kind of clear this, because it's not enough rates to kind of support anything else unless he gets some rebounds here, which is certainly possible, and that's going to help buoy his floor. But to get tournament upside, man, he's going to have to make a lot of threes in this spot, man. So, yeah, I mean, getting close to a 90 team total, Jay, and you got 3 guys playing 30-plus minutes, you got to have some interest in maybe a BizJack Kaiser or a Ajayi Kaiser or BizJack Ajayi. I mean, or just one-offing these guys, because somebody's getting there.
I think even if you don't want to spend up in this one, I think you got to have Kaiser in a lot. Like, I think you've got to be invested there on the lower end of this one. I like Kaiser in this spot. I think 20-25 is within reach.
Yeah.
And I don't mind playing him by himself in this one. But again, if you're going to get into a game, you're looking for the total, you're looking for, Jalen Jackson's out, so all that's getting divvied up. Just a big total in a nice spot for them. Friend of the show, Kim English, the only coach that we ever interviewed who actually got a message while we were interviewing him that said he had a player that was hopping in the portal. That's not a lie. That's real life. That happened while we were interviewing Kim English. And I don't know, man. Like, we'll see if Providence can get it done against Butler, but I like these guys on the Butler side for sure. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, broskies and broskets. Do your part in the one and done universe. Follow my guy at FantasyNav2 in those Twitter streets. Eric the Blue pushing the buttons tonight. Shout out to Eric. Got the old Three Musketeers running it back tonight. Nape taking a night off, a well-deserved night. Our guy Nape C. Hustle, a shout out to him as well, getting a night out of the studio for sure. All right, let's get to this last game on the slate, Mike. George Washington in Florida, 164 implied points. Both teams around top 50, in tempo. And both teams very good on offense for sure. George Washington, 33rd in bench minutes. This is the theme, right? A lot of these teams, again, I'll say it one more time because we're in the last game. So many of these teams play so many guys on this slate. It makes it interesting. This is a really good team out of the A10, Mike, but it's a tough matchup for GW.
Yeah, and it's got my guy we've been talking basketball, right? Rafael Castro. He's 6,700. He's one of the best major forwards in the country, and this is a cheap price tag, but he's also got a pretty good front court that he's going up against. So if I knew that he wasn't going to foul, that would really help the context of this slate. He's averaging 33 fantasy points, right? If he doesn't foul, the floor is probably a minimum of 25. I would, somewhere around there. So, yeah, I mean, you can't ever assume fouls. Although with Florida, it's like, okay, they got 4 bigs that are just going to send it to you every night. But, yeah, I mean, Jay, I think you have to click him in cash. Like, he's too cheap. I mean, he should be 8.5K on this slate, even in the matchup. He just does everything for this team. Trey Autry helped me win a GPP earlier this year. Price tags, okay. I think if you're not going to play cash, or even if you play cash, I think you got to get one of these guards. I just don't think it's him. One, because the price tag's too expensive, but I mean, he shoots a lot of threes. Feels like more of a floor play. Christian Jones at 4,100. Dud the other night. Been pretty good this year. A solid tournament option. 4,100. A lot of possessions in this game. 23% usage rate, 23% assist rate. Could he dud again? He just dudded against Delaware. Like absolutely. If I want to take advantage of some here, right? It's against the before the backcourt, right? Like I feel a little more confident. And then, yeah, I don't know, Jay. Like it feels like one of these guards. What are your thoughts on Aaron Gearin here?
Yeah, can do a little bit of everything. So if you don't want to play Christian Jones, I think that he's a great pivot to Jones in tournaments, like 25 fantasy point upside here. So 4,800, that's a number that I don't mind at all. Again, we talked about earlier, there were some plays in the 5K range that I just really wasn't a fan of. And you can right here, you can find Orangeren here at 4,800. I'm old enough to remember when he was balling at Hofstra, right? Like this guy, we know he has it in him. And at 4,800, just coming off the bench, just being that guy that all good teams need to be successful.
Right?
Like, yeah, exactly. Just solid rates across the board, man. So I think you got to really consider him here on this side. I don't mind Jones. I love taking a player off of a dud. I love it. I love taking a guy who just laid an absolute egg in the game before, and then you get him a little bit cheaper, and everybody who likes to game log watch is like, oh man, he was Delaware, he couldn't get off on the Blue Hens, and it's like, no, fine, I'll play him at 4,100, then sure, I'll slot him in. Like, that's cool with me, man. Don't. Like, I'll play Christian Jones. I might play him and Orangeren in this one. Who knows? Like, maybe you choose one or the other. Maybe you try to play them both and get out, again, like you said, against this Florida backcourt who, who are they stopping? Okay. Like, I mean, we'll see. But either way, I think you got to get involved with the GW side here. On the Florida side, Mike, 88 implied points and a number that we like so much more. Sub 300 in bench minutes used, 333rd to be exact. And we know the starters are playing big minutes. Florida here, this is a smash opportunity for the front court. George Washington struggles to defend inside, 53% from two given up. So you got Houck, you got Condon here. Houck at 8,800, Condon at 7,900. Awesome plays. I think most people are probably going to lean at Condon at 900 cheaper here, but Houck, awesome tourney pivot though, Mike. And you can really, I think you can probably play either in any format.
Yeah, I mean, either one. I mean, they can both go for 40 plus. Like, and these are guys that we paid $9K for, $9,500 for. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get probably one of these guys into 80% of my lineups.
Yeah,
Kenyale's just annoying though, because he can take away some of this double opportunity to let these guys hit their ceiling. So yeah, I mean, I don't play him, but if you want to, like, he could easily double in the spot. Man, I don't play Xavier Lee, 6,700. Like, he was just so inefficient the other night. I would rather play Bliggy Flan at 5,700. He's $1,000 cheaper. Awesome tournament play. He burned people with the fouls in the last game. He had taken 16 and 18 shots in the two previous games. He went off for 35 fantasy points against Florida State. Like, he's just an awesome tournament play. And yeah, a lot of people are probably going to go to him, which is annoying because then it's, he shows up at 25% Bliggy Flan. And you're like, crap, like, I did something wrong. And then Urban Clapjar, I like him at 3,800 for a bounce back spot. I mean, all he does is shoot threes. So, like, if he falls over a rebound or an assist or a steal, like, you really love that. But man, he at one point a couple of games ago, he looked like their best guard. 3,500 against Providence, put up 22. 3,300 against TCU, put up 25. So yeah, Urban Clapjar as a value, like, okay, yeah, he could not get a shot off against UConn. Like, he couldn't make a shot. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm willing to go right back to him. I think he's a solid value play that I think people are going to, like you just said, man, like, it's like, okay, I'm kind of just off Claptrap because he didn't look great in the nationally televised UConn game, right? But he's like 15 against Duke. So, like, yeah, this is a really great spot for all these Florida guys and almost a 90 implied team total.
Darren in the chat saying that fading Gator guard seems to be a popular play. And honestly, I think about Flan and Clapjar, like, nobody is going to do that. And I don't know if it's because it's just a moronic play to make or if it's because you're not confident in the fact that both of those guys could get there. Boogie Flan can absolutely get there.
Oh, yeah.
At this price tag. And Clapjar, every three he makes, it's almost 1x right there.
Exactly.
Right? So, I mean, it's something because I think Houck and Condon are going to get hammered. They're going to be, and they should be, right? It all makes sense. It all aligns here for the front court here to just absolutely crush.
Yeah.
Well, when you're playing a ton of tournament lineups here, like get a little bit different, get these guards in.
Or stack them
I
with
don't.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that I'll ever get to Xavier Lee. Like, he doesn't play scared. I'll give him that. Like, you watch the guy play, he ain't afraid.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not a good thing necessarily, you know. But I'm off of Lee. But I think Flan, Klavjar are both good. Chinyalu, I don't know, man. Like, again, the double upside is there, but it's also hard for me to click him like ever. So if I want to go like, you know, if you want to go Hauk and Klavjar, or if you want to go Condon and Fland even.
Like, 3 of them, yeah.
Dude, and you can try to make it work here. Again, this is an 88-point implied total, man.
Yeah, you could run you could run something like Klavjar, Fland, and one of the bigs. And you could definitely run it back on the other side with one of the guards like Christian Jones. Like, you could definitely do that, or Aaron Guerin. I mean, you got to beat a bunch of teams tomorrow, so it's not going to look like whatever it's going to look like.
A 3-1 stack and 164-point implied total on this slate. Like, it's not a bad play, you know? Like, it's something you're not going to be – this isn't a slate where you look at it and you're like, that's chalk. I totally understand why that lineup won.
Yeah, it's not really.
You know what I mean? Like, it feels like one of those slates where you're going to have to get different, and the different lineup is going to be the one that takes it down. I'm going to be getting a little bit different. I hope you get a little bit different too. And I hope that you hop into the One and Done Invitational number 8, a.k.a. the MC Holland 34 Invitational. Can we get I messed it up again. Can we get the old QR code right here? Right there. Sooner or later, maybe we can get it up. Either way, it's in the live chat as well. The link to our One and Done Invitational. Make sure you get over there. Oh, right there. Boom. Beep, 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 beep. $5 to get in. There's 40 spots total. There was already 3 in when we started, including your broskies right here. We were already in it. You know it's live if I'm in it. I'm coming for all of y'all, trying to chase that bread. And we're chasing that paper on this main slate as well. An 8-game Saturday slate, and we're happy that you hung around with us this entire time. You stick around with us for an hour. You know, the MH Invitational. Oh, I like that even better.
Oh my God.
The MH Invitational. Woo! Good stuff there. Oh, we got, and the chat has just been rolling tonight. Man, we appreciate everybody that's hopped in the live chat, that's pushed that button, that's been hanging out with us here on One and Done. So make sure that you let us know if you're watching later, if you're watching in the morning, eating your whatever cereal of choice and drinking your coffee or whatever it is, and scratching your, never mind. Just let us know that you're watching with us. Hop in the comments and let us know what your plays are. If you like our plays, if you don't, you know, sure, let us know. Whatever. Put it in the comments. Snake Size is in the One and Done Invitational, and you should be too. He just let us know right there that he hopped in there. So make sure you find that link in the live chat or on our page on X, which is at One and Done CBB. So make sure you get over there and hop in. Mike, let's get to the core 4 before we get out of here. I'm going to give you the cash core. Michael Ajayi, Jackson Kohler, Rafael Castro, and Jalen Sellers. That's my cash core, man. Ajayi, the team total and the monster rates. Kohler for Michigan State at 8,200. We love the matchup against Penn State. Remember, if they have Penn State next to their name, ignore them for this slate. Kohler, I love the floor there. Castro, tough matchup, but too cheap. There, remember, we're not thinking about fouls. Mike mentioned that earlier. Don't think about fouls in this instance. Just think about what you can get out of Castro and what his floor is there. And then Sellers or Vax, obviously, one of those Providence guards, too cheap for both of them to have 30-plus fantasy point upside. Maybe even put both of them in there and get crazy if you want to. But that's the cash plays, those safe floor plays that you know I'm going to like to play in some of my double ups, triple ups, and things like that. So now that we got that out of the way, Darren, for letting us know. Actually, I don't want to never. All right, there we go. Yeah, I didn't even read the whole comment, and I wouldn't have even mentioned it. The butter knife. Okay. Let's get to the tourney plays before this thing goes completely off the rails, Mike. What are your core plays for tournaments?
Yeah. I mean, this is such a cool tournament. Like, it's hard to trust anything that is value, it feels like. We talked about a lot of spots, you know, Georgia forwards, Klavjar, these George Washington guards. Like, there's just, Coleman from Oklahoma State. I'm gonna jump out here with one of the George Washington guards, man. Christian Jones or Aaron Guerin. I mean, sub 5K. Like one of those guys is going to get there. Just a decent team total. Bland for tournaments, man. Just give me. I'm looking for guys with 5 to 6x upside. Just give me Bland, and then Fears. I really think he could go for like 12 points and like 13 assists against Penn State, man. TKR. This is a spot against Marquette that is just juicy. So yeah, there's so many more good tournament plays, but these are more of like, we're not saying play these 4 guys on every single tournament.
Right.
We're just saying pick 2 or 3, right? And kind of, do some of the other things we talked about, because you notice that we didn't have any of the Florida guys on here outside of Bland, right? So it's like, you probably want to play a couple of Florida guys. I talked about Finley Bizjack being kind of a cool tournament play. You mentioned Jason Edwards, like he could play 30 minutes and take 20 shots in that one. Braden Smith is there, obviously, as a TKR pivot, but you're paying up for him. If he goes ignored and he goes for 55 again, like, those 5% of people are going to be pretty happy. Toppins there, like just A Cup at 8,700, nice foreplay. Like there's just so many cool tournament lineups that you can make. And I'm glad that the last couple of slates have kind of been like, some of these larger slates have been like this, which is makes it a lot of fun, man.
No doubt about it. TKR, Jeremy Fears, Christian Jones, or Angerin, whichever one of those GW guards you want to play. And then make sure that you don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on Boogie. Put him in. That's my guy. I love me some Boogie Fland. And I hope that you love us too, the way that we love you for hanging out with us right here on One and Done. Shout out to our guy, Eric the Blue, for pushing the buttons tonight at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. Shout out to our guy at Napesy Hustle taking a well-deserved night off. Shout out to my guy on screen with me around here. He's known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Helen 34 on X. Shout out to you, Mike. Shout out to all of y'all for hanging out with us. Make sure that you follow us on X. Make sure that you hit the like and subscribe buttons, notification bells, so you don't miss our Mountain West coverage, our simulcast that we have here, DFS, live reactions, news and notes shows, everybody's favorite show on college basketball, the Mid-Major Minute, everybody's favorite segment. It's in there. So make sure you hit all those buttons for sure. And let's get this bread. Until next time, my name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. We'll see you.